excuse me. I was cleaning off the creek the other day with the Saturday and Sunday with the track hoe I got, and I guess those trees that I took down, they weren't very big trees, but they were about, I don't know, 30 foot tall, about 6 to 8 inches. I guess they had pollen in them because yesterday I sounded like a bullfrog. Today I sound not as bad as yesterday, but my voice, I hope my voice makes it. I hope I don't lose my voice. It's not COVID. It's freaking allergies, okay? So I had somebody the other day. I ain't gonna say nothing. I'll shut up. I need to shut up. Shut up, you. All right, so here is the questions we got. First question. I don't know if they're in order. Let's see if these are in order. That's 9.191. That's the lowest one. Now 9.1. 9.191/23. And is this a test question? It's probably a word problem.
Yeah, the word problem's kind of I struggled with.
Find the exact length of the arc intercepted by the giving central angle in the figure to the right. So we got 4 pi over 3. I'm going to draw it on my whiteboard while y'all are drawing it. Let's see, 4 pi over 3. And the radius is equal to 16 units. So it looks like to us, I think all we got to do is multiply because S is equal to R theta. If I remember correctly. Right? So S is equal to R times 4 pi over 3. And S is equal to 16 times 4 is 64. Somebody check me, please.
16, 32, 48, 64.
Is it? Okay. And let's see, 3 will go in there 2 times. Let's see, that's 3 going there 2 times. 3 will go in there 1 time. Leave 10. So 21.33 pi. And 21 times 3 is 63. So it's going to be at least 63 units. We'll go ahead and type it in the calculator and see. That's going to be 21.333333. Well, let me check that. Let me check that. 64 divided by 3.
Divided by 3.
Yeah, 21.3333 times second pi.
Times second pi.
67.0206. 67.02 units. So this from here to here is 67.02 units, centimeters, inches, miles, whatever. So let's see what the directions say. Type as, in terms of pi. So that would be 64 pi over 3. 64 pi divided by
3. Oh yeah, it's the same.
Huh?
I got the same calculation.
Is that a test question? Yes. Why do I like this as a test question? Because it's short and sweet. I do not like 15 parts to a question. I do not like those questions. So when I put a question on a test, it's usually going to be short and sweet. And Miss Croxton is having technical difficulties. What kind of technical difficulties are you having, Miss Croxton?
Well, I just got back in. I don't know. It was probably my laptop because I need to get it replaced, but I'm waiting for my financial aid refund.
Okay.
But so I just moved to a different room in the house and I'll get back in.
Okay. Thank you. All right. So that's that question. Mr. Bradley, you need to settle down. All right. So next, Mr. Bradley's sitting there like, oh, I really don't want to be here today. All right. I know the feeling, Mr. Bradley. All right. Let's do another question. And we got that question right. So I'm going to delete that one. And the next one is 113. A couple of y'all sent that question. So this is 9.1, 113 slash in the 29. This should be toward the end of your homework on 9.1. Okay, so this one is, how many inches will the weight in the figure rise if the rope, I can't even talk, I'm just going to write it. Here's the pulley. R is equal to 9.34. And we are turning 78 degrees, 50 minutes, which is not even 90 degrees, it's about close to 80 degrees. So 78 degrees, 50 minutes. And first, they want to know, they want to know the length. So S is equal to 9.34 times, well, we got to change 78. We got to change 78, 7850. We got to change that into radians. So that means 78 and 50 divided by 60. We can put that in a decimal, or you can actually take 78. I'll bring y'all up to speed with the calculator. And take 78, 50. So 78. And then go to math. Or second apps, sorry. 78 degrees and 50. Second app. Second app. Minutes. And then hit enter. And that's 78.833. So I'm going to change that to 78.83333. And I'm just going to go over here right quick, and that's degrees. So I'm going to multiply by pi over 180. Is somebody talking or question? Remember, you raise your virtual hand if you have a question. And turn off your mic, please. Okay, so I'm changing it right here. So that goes out and that goes out. So 78.83 repeating pi over 180. And that's going to be S is equal to 9.34 times 78.83 pi over 180. So I guess I'll go ahead and type it in, calculator. I'm not going to type in the pi because I believe they've been wanting pi. So we're going to type it in as 78.83 times 9.34. 736 divided, well, we'll do 180. So S is equal to 736.303, repeating, pi over 180. Now that may be what they want. I'm going to go ahead and turn it into a decimal because that's real world. So 73 times pi divided by 180. 12.85 inches. 12.85 inches. It has moved 12.85 inches. So let's see. It says round to the nearest tenth, 12.9. And you should feel good about yourself. There you go. Okay, now you do the second part. I'm going to let you do the second part.
Ooh, yes.
It says, through what angle, so you're looking for theta. You're looking for theta to the nearest minute. Must the pulley be rotated to raise the weight 6 inches? So S is equal to 6. So S is equal to 6. R is equal to 9.34. So all you got to figure out is theta. Just a simple algebra problem. And if you can't do it, then we'll all just make fun of you and call you names if you can't do it. Would that be bullying? Because we got to do something offensive today. We'll make that bullying. We'll just bully somebody. Miss Hernandez, is that a smile? Was that a smile I just saw? Wow. You better watch it. The class might get mad at you for smiling. Mr. Bradley, please settle down. Mr. Bradley, do you talk a lot?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. How about them dogs? Them dogs. Nobody gonna say anything? Well, I just loved watching that because those Clemson fans were just sitting over there going like this. That's why people don't like Clemson. It's not Clemson football team. They just can't stand the fans. Because they are crazy. And that's not going to get anything, nothing. God. Y'all are going to have terrible offices when y'all get in the career world. Y'all are going to have janitorial offices with a piece of plywood over the mop sink because you're not communicating.
The reason that I'm not saying anything is because I'm a Carolina fan. So
Hey, I'd love to see Carolina win. They won.
Yeah, I mean, they played a high school team though.
They played Burns High School, but yeah,
it's good to see them. Good to see them come out strong.
At least South Carolina could win against the All Cupcake Conference.
Yeah, you know, it is what it is. We'll see how they do against UC.
See how the All Cupcake Conference did? Like 8 out of 12 teams lost. Duke lost to Charlotte.
I mean, the SEC did fall pretty hard against UCLA though. So.
Yeah, LSU. I didn't think LSU was going to get beat, but evidently UCLA has a pretty good team, and plus LSU sucked last year, so they're rebuilding. So
but wasn't UCLA like 0-12 the past 2 seasons?
I don't know. Something's happened. Something has happened out there. They actually got something put together. I don't know. Something has happened. But I still want to talk about the Dogs. They won the game 10-7. It was a pretty good game, though.
It was.
It was a good defensive game. I like defensive games. I don't like runaway games. All right, here we go. Let's see who we can make feel bad because we didn't get it right. All right, we got a we got a drawing right here, and I'm going to show it to you in just a second. The rate R is equal to 9.34, and we want to pull this up, what they say, 6 inches. Which means that this distance right here needs to be 6 inches. So S is equal to R theta. 6 is equal to 9.34 theta. Divide by 9.34. Divide by 9.34. And theta is equal to whatever this comes out to be. That's going to be 6 divided by 9.34, 0.64, blah, 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 0.6423982869. That would be radians. I don't know if they want it in degrees or not. Let's see what they want. They want degrees, minutes, and seconds. So this is radians. So 0.6423982869 pi over 1 multiplied by 180 over pi. So that's going to be 0.64 blah, blah, blah times 180. That's 115. 115.63 16916. And we're going to take that 115. That's going to be 115 degrees. That's a little bit high. See, how far did we move it? 78. We moved it. How far? 12 inches. That's not right. We moved it 13 inches going 78 degrees. Unless they want to move it 6 more inches. I don't know if they want to move it. That 115, that don't seem right. Let's see if that's what they got. I just have a feeling something is not right. I'm just going to type in something. I know that's wrong, but I want to see if they got 115. Yeah, I knew that wasn't right. So I've got something wrong. Did I do calculation wrong?
You forgot to divide by pi, I think.
I didn't divide by pi, did I? Say again, should I have divided by pi? Let's see. S is equal to R theta. I'm doing this again. 6 is equal to 9.34 inches. That's inches, that's inches. And theta is in radians. So divide by 9.34. Divide by 9.34. And that's going to give us 0.6423982869 is equal to theta. Now that's in radians. So we need to divide that by pi. Let's see if that works. Divide that by pi since it's in radians. So I'm going to take 0.64. So I'm going to divide by 180 to get my number back. Divide by 180. And divide that by pi. Second pi. That's going to be 0.2044817256. And that, and then divide that by 180. Or multiply that by 180. There we go. And multiply that by 180 because that is pi. And pi, and I'm going to multiply by 180 over pi. Multiply by 180. And that gives us 36.8067161 is equal to theta. And you could easily take that and go hit second answer and then go second apps and change that to degrees, minutes, and seconds. There you go. 3648. Actually, it's, but it says round to 48. You need to divide that by pi, so that's where I went wrong. I forgot to divide by pi. Right here, as soon as you divide this right here, you need to divide this by pi. So just remember to do that. And then multiply it by 180. So here, divide by pi, and then multiply by 180. So 0.64, blah, blah, blah. So, and you need to do that whenever they ask you the angle, because it's in radians. I'll let you write that down right quick. I'll tell you what, I think I got another one to do. Let's see if we can do it. And this is a good test question. Let's see, 9. Okay, here's one sent by Mr. Ramey. Let's see if it's the same numbers. Well, it's only one digit off, so we'll go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do that one. We'll give 2 of them. That way you'll have them in your notebook for the test. So we've got a BA circle with a radius of 9.44 inches. And we're going to turn it 77 degrees, 50 minutes. And we want to know what S comes out to be. So go ahead and do A and B. B, we want 3 inches. And we want the angle, theta. Excuse me. Sinus drainage. What would we do without ramen noodles? Hey, y'all just don't want to talk about nothing.
I'm sorry. I was muted. I'm sorry. I said the world would be a scarier place.
Yeah. You know, you can actually fix furniture with ramen noodles.
How?
You can take it and actually sand it, and thought I'd let y'all know that.
I don't eat ramen noodles.
Ramen
They're
noodles is
good.
good.
I mean,
Yeah.
I just don't put as much. I don't put all that seasoning in there because it's a little bit too salty for me. I just put about half, and then a little bit of bourbon, and I'm sorry.
That's
All right,
actually my
so-
go-to when I'm having like a day physically.
Yeah, you can throw some. I guess you can throw some tequila in there too. All right, so here we go. We got all our conversations, all my conversations ends up with tequila. All right, so 7750. So that's going to be for A. We're going to go S is equal to 9.44 times 7750. Or 7750, and that's going to be degrees over pi over 180. So S is going to be equal to whatever that comes out to be. I don't know if they want pi. What did they say they wanted? Okay, round to the nearest tenth. Okay, so we're going to take, let's go ahead and clear all this. And we're going to take 77 math, second at degrees, and 50 minutes, second at minutes. Multiply that by pi, and divide by 180. Looks like we're moving 1.4 inches. So let's check it out. 1.4 inches. Uh-oh. Maybe I didn't round correctly.
I got 12.8.
You got what?
12.8.
Same.
Did I do wrong?
You gotta
Oh, did I
multiply
not
that.
multiply by 9.44?
No, you didn't.
I don't think I did. Okay, let me go back and look at my calculation. No, I didn't. So I need to take that. So let me multiply by 180. Hold on. I didn't multiply by 9 point whatever.
9.44.
Times 9.44 and divided by 180. There we go.
Boom.
Sorry about that. 12.82 inches. 12.8 inches. Thank you for mentioning that. I would have called it eventually, I hope. 12.8 inches. And now let's change it. And we got 3 inches. So 3 is equal to 9.44 times theta. Divide by 9.44. And that's going to be 3 divided by 9.44. And that's going to be 0.31779666102 equals theta. Divide that by pi. Divided by pi. And that's going to be 0.1011578.028, and multiply that by 180. And then say second answer, second app, go down to degrees, minutes, and seconds. 1813. 18 degrees, 13 minutes. Because that's over 30. 30.256 is over 30, so that would bump that up to 13. Well, it does say round to the nearest minute. So 18, 13. And you should feel good about yourself. So hopefully these ain't too difficult for you. Next one is 115. So that's going to be 9.1. Stopping up. 9.1, 115 slash 30. I feel like I'm doing y'all's homework for you. All right, two gears are adjusted so that the smaller gear gives the larger one as shown, drives the larger gear as shown in the figure. All right, so we got a small gear that has a radius of 3.5 centimeters. And a big gear with a radius of 7.2 centimeters. And it says if the smaller gear rotates through an angle of 270 degrees. I'm going to take my red pen and I'm just going to draw 270 degrees right there. Through how many degrees will the larger gear turn? Now this is critical thinking at its best. Okay. This right here, I just turned this wheel 270 degrees. So that means 3 pi over 2 revolutions, right? 3 pi over 2. Everybody okay with that? 3 pi over 2. So 270, 290, I think I said 270 degrees. 270 degrees equals 3 pi over 2 radians. So that means that this red area represents 3 pi over 2. So that would turn from here to here. That would be our S. So S is equal to 3.5 times, well, we got to do 270 degrees over 1 multiplied by pi over 180. Excuse me. And that's going to come out to be a distance. Now I'm sorry if this gear rolls S amount, then what does this gear do? See, if this turns this way, let's say this turns this way. Then this way is going to be what? The same as this right here, right? Yes or no? Y'all know how gears turn, right?
Yes.
If a gear turns 5 feet, it turns the other gear 5 feet. Now the other gear may be bigger, but it still turns at 5 feet. All right. So this gear turns this gear 5 feet. So down here, whatever we get for the S here is going to go for the S in part B because we got a part B. So let's find S. Let's call this S sub 1. S sub 1. That's our first distance. And we're going to multiply all this and crunch it out. Oh yeah, the degrees, they cancel. So 3.5 times 270 times pi equals divided by 180. So that short gear has moved 16.49 centimeters. Let me see what this question says to round to. Round to the nearest integer? Really? Well, I'll do it at the end. We're gonna use 16.49.
The book, it says the nearest 10.
The book says the nearest tenth, but this says the nearest integer. So I'm gonna keep my decimals out, and I'm just gonna round at the very end. So go back. So this angle, I'm gonna highlight this. My voice is not gonna make it. I don't know if I'm gonna have a voice tomorrow. That distance right there is 16.49 centimeters. So the thing about gears is that whichever one moves, the other one moves the same. So that means that this S right here is equal to what? 16.49.
16.49.
So I take my blue marker, and this is part B. 16.49 is equal to 7.2 times theta. And this is just like the problem we did a while ago. I'm going to divide by 7.2, then divide by pi, and then multiply by 180. So let's take our calculators. 16.49 divided by 7.2 divided by pi and multiplied by 180. 131 degrees. Now, ask yourself, 131 degrees, 22.32506 equals theta. Let's turn that into let's go second answer, second apps. $131 degrees and 13 minutes. Now I want to ask y'all a question. And this is nothing but mechanical / analytical / critical thinking. If this small gear moves 270 degrees and it moves S 16.49, if you move this 16.49, since it's a bigger gear, is it going to be more or less than 270?
It should be less.
Should be less. So that's how you check to see if your math is right. Right, Mr. Nicholson? You're in the mechanical world, all right? If this one turns 270, this one is bigger. So this 16.49 may take up this whole dadgum gear. But since this one is like 3 times bigger, it's not going to turn it 270. It's going to turn it what? Less than 270. So I don't know what they want. I don't know if they want 131 or what. Let's see. Somebody needs to turn their microphone off, put it on mute, or turn your speakers down. One of the two. All right, what question? There we go. I'm going to say 131 degrees. I'm awesome. And that's what you should feel about yourself when you get this one right. And that's how you do it. Right there. I like giving this question on the test because it does have a little bit of mechanical / critical thinking in it. All right, next. And our last one is 9.1. I bet this is a bicycle question. 9.1, 117. Now I am doing y'all's homework for you. I think I've done the last 5 questions. Y'all suck. All right. You know, there's no getting anything out of y'all. Y'all, God, y'all gonna end up in a divorce because y'all don't communicate. All right. And you're gonna have a crappy office. There's a bicycle.
Statistically speaking, 7 of us will end up in a divorce. So
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
statistically speaking, 7 of us will end up in a divorce.
Oh yeah. And with no communication like y'all got, y'all, let me guess, you're gonna communicate via text. Yeah, that's gonna work out really well. All right.
Can't get divorced if you never get married.
Well, that's true. Amen to that, brother.
Yes.
I try to keep my children from getting married. I told both of them, live together, do whatever, don't get married. Marriage, a wedding and a funeral are the biggest 2 wastes of money and shams that people, they're the biggest shams. All right, so we've got and men should not get married until they're 35. That should be in the Constitution. Because they're still stupid. There we go. We got a radius of 1.43. And then here we got a radius of 4.41. And this is inches. Okay, it says the figure shown the chain drives the bicycle. How far would the bicycle move if the pedals are rotated 180 degrees? Okay, here we go. So I'm going to just use my R as my, okay, 180 degrees. Let me go A, 180 degrees. And then B says, assume the radius of the bicycle wheel is 12.1. So R is equal to 12.1 inches. Okay, so with that being said, let me go to the whiteboard. You make fun of my drawing, I will not do this question, okay? I suck at drawing. All right. So this one is going to turn 180 degrees. I'm just going to use this as a marker. Everybody with me? That's 180 degrees. And that means that this distance right here is what now I'm not worried about it making contact with the chain. That's too much to be thinking about. All you need to be thinking about is how much that distance is right there, because you can always turn the gear to change. That's not, you just need to find the distance, okay? So you need to find this S. Now, if this gear moves S amount, then this one has to move what? S amount. So the S's are going to be equal. All right, I'll give you 3 minutes to work on it. It is 12:07 right now, so at 12:10, we're going to work on it. What is 180 in radians? 0, pi over 2, and what? Pi, right? So it's pi. Trying to help y'all out. Start y'all. Actually, another reason I'm eating ramen noodles, the salt for my throat. I guess the same thing with chicken soup, but Campbell's chicken soup, it's kind of lost flavor in the last 15, 20 years. It used to be real good, now it sucks. Campbell's, I meant the chunky soup, it used to be real good, but now it sucks. How many of you ever had beef stew and rice?
That's one of my
That's good
favorite
stuff.
dinners.
After I make a big, me and my son, we have this big old pot. It's like big, and I put like a whole box of rice in it, and then I put like 4 cans of different kinds of beef stew, whether it's Dinty Moore or chunky, or is it? I mix them all up. That's some good stuff. Put some Tabasco sauce in there. Bachelor food. All right. So 4.41 multiplied by pi. So how far does our pedal gear move?
13.85 inches.
13.85 inches. So if the chain moves 13.85 inches, then how far does the back gear turn?
The same amount.
The same amount. So with part B, I'm going to call this one, I'm going to use the blue color. This S is the same thing with here. Now let's ask the question. If this one turns 185 inches and it is 180 degrees and it's bigger, then what's this one going to be? More or less than 180 degrees?
More.
More. It's going to be more than 180 degrees. Hell, it might be even more than 360, depending on how small the gear is. Everybody get that? So we've got a radius of 12.1. They want to know how far not the gear moves, but how far the tire moves, because they're giving us the radius of the. No, we're going to turn. Yeah, we're going to do this first. So we got R and we've got S. So S is 13.85 equals 1.43 times theta. So divide by 1.43, divide by 1.43, and we're going to divide that by pi and multiply it by 180. So 13.85 divided by 1.43. And we've got, divide that by pi. And multiply by 180. So our little gear turns 555 degrees. Uh-oh, what's the problem? Let's change that into second answer, second apps. Somebody tell us what the problem is. That means I want somebody to say something.
I think it's over 360.
So we got to find the what? The collinear angle. So
Yes.
just subtract 360 because 360 and 360 is 720. So it's just 360. So we're going to subtract 360.
Subtract 360. I
So
got
the actual
195.
collinear angle is whatever you say. Yeah. And let's go ahead and change that. Second answer. Second app. Degrees, minutes, seconds. 195, 618.
Boom.
So, what do we have for the back tire now? The back tire is right here. Let's do this in another color. Let's go with this green. Here's the back tire. And this let's see, where's 195? 195 would be, this is 180. So this angle is 195. So this basically from here to here is this. And what's the radius of the tire? 12.1. Looks like to me we got what we need. We just got to change 195.0618 to radians. So the green S is going to equal 12.1 times 195.0618 times pi over 180. And the degrees cancel. So let's do all that. So I'm going to multiply this times pi. Now I am leaving this in here. So mine may be a little bit different because you're using 18. I'm going to use this. It'll be close enough for government work. Times what? Pi second. Oh gosh, I hit the wrong button. Shoot.
I just do like quit. I get out of it by doing
Okay.
second and quit.
Yeah, there we go.
Boom.
Answer times second pi times 12.1 divided by 180. And that tire is going to turn 41.2 inches. So let's see what they want us to round it to. 41.2 inches. And we should feel good about ourselves. Oh! Let's see, it must be off a little bit. Oh,
Wait,
I know
think
why.
it's 4 point. It's
Because
40.
my rounding, because y'all rounded to 8. Ooh. Wow. What did I do wrong? It must be multiplication wrong somewhere. Did anybody get 117?
I think it
Where did I
was
go wrong?
when you subtracted 360 from 554.
It's not 195?
I got 194.
Okay, let me do that again. 360 minus, oh, I'm sorry, 555. Well, I did it up here. Let me see if I can.
No, I got 554.
556 minus 360. I got 195. But that wouldn't have made that much difference. I just wonder if they 555, that'll be the same thing. I've got something wrong besides that. Let me check my math again. Let me go through and multiply it one more time. 12.1. Let me get out of this. Let me get out of this. Clear and clear. Why is it? Oh my Lord. Second quit. Clear. There. And clear. 195. 195. Second degrees. 6 minutes. Second minutes. And 18 seconds. Somebody tell me where the quotations are. It's above one of the keys.
Alpha, then plus.
Thank you. There it is. Thank you. All right, times pi times times 12.1 divided by 180. Yeah, we're not getting that at all. Okay, so I've got something wrong.
Is it the question? What is the question asking? Is it
How far does it travel? So how far does the tire turn? Wait a minute. Might need to type in 551. Maybe we got to type in 555 because it turns more than one revolution. That's it. 555.
Oh my gosh, I didn't think of that.
We were thinking collateral, but a tire does turn over 360 degrees. So we could actually add the 360 to it. We could do that and add them together, or we could do 555. That's it. Second apps. So you don't subtract it because the bicycle turns over and over. So 555, 06, $18 alpha plus times pi times 12.1 divided by 180. That'll be it. There we go. So you turned, instead of 41, that was the 118 to 195 degrees. I forgot you got to include the other revolution because it's a bicycle tire. 117.21 or 23. 117.23. Yeah. My mistake. I'm sorry. So when you do the tire, remember, do not deduct 360. You need to use the whole 555 degrees.
Mr. McLaurin, I have a
Yes.
question. When you're typing in the calculator, I looked through apps, but I can't find seconds, the symbol for seconds, like a parentheses or semicolon.
It's
quotation mark.
alpha plus.
Oh,
Alpha plus.
alpha plus. Okay, I see.
Yep.
That's my bad.
Yep. All right, so that's all the questions for today. And I think I just did y'all's last third of your homework. Did I just do the last third of your homework? I think I did. Y'all suck.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it was a lot of work questions, but it was really.
I know a lot of y'all having to think, and I bet it hurt y'all's ears. I bet it hurt between your ears, didn't it? Y'all had to think. All right, let's go to Math 111. I already got it pulled up. I had the e-text pulled up, and I just messed it up. I suck. I've already taken the roll, so we're good there. Chapter contents. We're in 9, right? So 9.2. And let's see what we got. Probably basic trig. Should be basic trig. Yep, basic trig. And as I told y'all the other day, that trigonometry is based on the circle. And when it's based on the circle, you're going to have the Pythagorean theorem. So here's a circle. There's a radius here and a radius there at 90 degrees. And you're talking about, you're talking about a right triangle. Now the right triangle makes up about 80%, 70 to 80% of this course. 70 to 80% of this course is based on right angle trig. The rest is non-right angle, which gets into your law of sines and your law of cosines. But everything pretty much is based on the right triangle. So therefore, you're going to be dealing with the Pythagorean theorem. You can do a U there if you want to. Pythagorean. There's nothing worse than a math student that can't say Pythagorean. P-U, or P-A, depending on how you pronounce Pythagorean. And the Pythagorean theorem basically says that the hypotenuse, the square of the hypotenuse, is equal to the square of the sum of the legs. So this is a leg, this is a leg, and this is the hypotenuse. Okay, so make sure you can say hypotenuse. And the hypotenuse is always C. It's always across from the what? Always across from the 90 degrees. And it's always what?
The longest.
Okay, so you need to make sure you write that down. And I'm going to highlight it in pink because you got to remember that. The legs you really don't care about because addition is commutative, and it doesn't matter if you mess them up because a leg is a leg, so it doesn't really matter about which one you assign as far as the legs go. But the hypotenuse is always C. It's always across from 90 degrees, and it's always the longest side. The Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. Now, you need to be able to solve for any one of these letters. And you can do that. Solve for a squared is equal to c squared minus b squared. A is equal to the square root of c squared minus b squared. And you need to be able to do those. If I wanted to solve for b, put this up here in the top right hand corner there. If I wanted to solve for b, a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. B squared is equal to c squared minus a squared. B is equal to the square root of c squared minus a squared. I'm sorry, I got to drink something. I'm going to get a coughing. And a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. C is equal to a squared plus b squared square root. This right here is what you're going to be using most. Excuse me. All right, so if you want to write down these three formulas, you can write these down or you can just remember how to solve for them. There is 3 Pythagorean theorems. A is a leg. B is a leg. C is the hypotenuse. Question, right, complaint. All right, now there's two aspects of trigonometry. Right angle trig. There is the whole Pythagorean theorem, and then there is the 6 trigonometric functions: sine, cosine, tangent, cotangent, secant, cosecant. Oscar had a hunk of apple. And these are the reciprocals. So this is apple of hunk A had Oscar. You don't need to remember this. You just need to remember the first one. Oscar had a hunk of apple. If I give you a right triangle, and I tell you I want you to find theta, and theta's right here, you act like you're the little man, and your foot is always going to be on the adjacent and the hypotenuse. Always. If theta's down here, your foot's going to be on the adjacent and the hypotenuse. If theta's up here, adjacent and hypotenuse. Hypotenuse is always going to be C. It's always going to be the opposite, because it's opposite of what? Well, it's not. No, let me rephrase that. It's always going to be C. If this is adjacent and this is the hypotenuse, then what's this side over here? Well, it's opposite of the little man, so there's the opposite. So Oscar had a hunk of apple. I'm sorry, of apple. So if they give you numbers for any of these, first thing you're going to do is you're going to make sure you get all the numbers. Get all the numbers by using the Pythagorean theorem. If they give you two of these numbers, then you got to find the third one by the Pythagorean theorem. Then after you have all three numbers, plug and chug into these right here. That's it. That's all you have to do for right angle trig. That's it. So let's do one. Give you a couple of seconds to write that down. I'm gonna put some more water in there, get some more salt. My throat's killing me. All right. So here is our triangle. Hold on, I'm thinking. Well, I was hoping to get a nice number. Well, we'll just go with 2 and 3. And I want you to find the sine, cosine, tangent, cotangent, secant, and cosecant. So we've got 2 legs, so that's going to be 2 squared plus 3 squared is equal to c squared. Square root of c is equal to the square root of 4 plus 9. And that's going to be the square root of 13. So this is your little man. You're standing right here. And that's the opposite. This is the adjacent. And this is the hypotenuse. Oscar had be 2 over what? Square root 13. We'll discuss this in a minute. A hunk 3 over square root 13. Of apple, 2/3. So therefore, the cotangent is going to be what? 3/2. Secant is going to be square root 13 over 3. And the cosecant is going to be the square root of 13 over 2. Now, is there anything wrong with any of these answers? Is all of them okay?
This is square root in the bottom.
The first 2 has the radical in the bottom, and some people don't like that, so we got to fix it. So we have to rationalize the denominator. We multiply by the square root of 13 over the square root of 13. Multiply by the square root of 13 over the square root of 13. And that's going to give us 2 square root of 13 over 13. And 3 square root of 13 over 13. And now you have all your answers for the trigonometric functions. And that's all there is to it. Now, how many of these should you do for homework? You should do about 2,000, at least 2,000. The more you do, the better. And this is the basis of what we're going to be doing. This is the footing of your house, your trigonometric house. This and the unit circle. So make sure Oscar had a hunk of apple. Sorry, of apple. And do like somebody said, Mr. McClure, I don't understand what you're saying. Oscar had a hunk of apple. I've never heard that. I've always heard of Sakatoa. Shut up. People like that make me sick. It's the same what? The same damn thing. I had a woman like that in one of my classes. Oh my gosh, she was annoying. Almost as much as my ex-wife. Same thing. I could say the let's see, what is it? Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. And she would go, oh, I never learned that, Mr. McClure. I learned PEMDAS. Okay, what is that? It's the same damn thing. Let me tell you something. Watch your psychology. If you ever meet somebody like that, run in the other freaking direction, because you will pull your hair out. Anybody know anybody like that? You will.
I mean, maybe.
You will. I mean, somebody that goes, you say, pass the jelly, and they go, well, really, it's not jelly, it's jam. Those kind of people, you just want to pick up the jar and just slam it upside their head. Anyway, I'll be all right. I'll take my medication. I'll be all right. I'll be all right. All right. Let's do a nerd. Let's do one that will challenge you.
Mr. McClure, I'm actually gonna have to dip out and go back to work.
Oh,
I
is
don't
it
wanna-
time for class to be over? What time
It
is
is.
class over?
Yeah,
12:35.
6 minutes
I'm
over.
sorry. Okay, we'll stop. Sorry. Have I
No,
already
you're all right.
taken the roll? Yes, everybody was here, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'll assign the 9.2 homework, and some of y'all can start working on it. And I will see y'all Thursday. Glad y'all got to see me today. See ya.